Welcome back to the ZymCast. It's episode 16/18/15/15/17/4.
Yeah.
4.
I'm Kyle Grubb.
See, the rest of those numbers made sense. I'm Chase Matherly, but I don't know where 4 came from.
I'm Shanghai.
It's the number between 3 and 5.
Oh, I guess that is where 4 comes from.
I know.
2 plus 2?
The number 4 now has been forever ruined for me by freaking
I am number
KFAF.
4? Oh.
KFAF.
Oh.
And it's like, go for it, Andy. Go for it, Nick. Go for it. Connect between 3 and 5 because they didn't want to get quote unquote sued for Connect 4, even though that's complete ridiculous. They're also playing Warboat right now.
Oh.
It's a battleship.
Oh.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've watched like very little KFAF.
That's Chase Matherly.
I said my name.
I don't believe you.
He did.
I don't believe you. And I'm Kyle Grubb.
You said
You
that.
said that already.
I know. I started with that.
Don't be a Gus Sorolla.
Oi.
Wait.
References.
Yes.
So how was your week, Kyle?
Very boring.
I saw you documented.
My slow descent into madness, and by slow we mean I started there and continued.
Rapid.
Yeah. So for anybody that didn't know, I released a series of videos on our YouTube channel where I wasn't doing anything exciting. And so I vlogged about it for 7 days straight.
What were they titled?
Not in Boston.
I mean, you lived through some earthquakes. That's kind of exciting.
I still cannot tell you how mad I am that frickin' video didn't just vanished into the ether. I'm so mad because literally I was recording the first of those episodes and then that frickin' 7.1 earthquake hit. And I'm like, oh, this is some good content. And then when I tried to upload it to YouTube, because I just recorded it through the YouTube app, and then it's like something, it was like, and then like an error message popped up and it was just gone. The video was just gone. I was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
That happened. That 7.1 earthquake was on Friday or Thursday?
Thursday
Night while Cheyenne and I were in the air.
You just missed
on
it
the
completely.
plane.
That
Yeah.
was on Thursday? Are you sure
Wait.
it wasn't? No, that was Friday.
Oh yeah, it was Friday. Because yeah, I recorded Friday to Thursday, so 7 days. So yeah, that was on Friday.
Yeah. Well, I know before we left, I experienced one of the earthquakes. I think it was 2 of them, I guess, because there was like,
Yeah, there was 2.
it was like a 4.5, 4.4, whatever.
And then there was like a 6
A 6 point something.
Yeah, neither of which I felt. I've
How
never,
did you not feel that?
I've
It
never
is
felt an
really
earthquake in my
really-
life.
That's
I've lived in California for 21 years. I've never felt an earthquake.
That's
crazy.
ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I still remember the freaking Northridge quake.
Yeah, I wasn't alive.
I know.
I was alive, but I think.
Were you?
When was Northridge?
I was like 2 or 3.
No, I wasn't alive. My dad keeps saying that I was alive during the Northridge, but I was like, I
Your
don't
dad's
think
crazy.
so.
Was that 94?
Maybe there's one in 99 that he keeps talking about.
It was not that.
That's not
Yeah.
Northridge.
That's not
Okay.
Northridge.
Which
'Cause I was
one is
alive
that?
for that. I don't know.
Oh, please. You're barely alive for that.
I was like 2 years old, 1 year old.
barely.
I look up Northridge earthquake and it's like magnitude 2.6 earthquake,
No.
which apparently happened
Not
an hour ago.
What?
1994. I was
See,
right.
we're okay.
So I was 3 years old.
California is we're
Wasn't
gonna
born
Yeah, I know.
we're gonna
Neither of you were.
splinter off and fall into the ocean.
Of course. Whatever.
I'm ready.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I want to be a mer person.
No, I hate
That's
the
not how
ocean.
that works.
Are you sure?
That's not
It's
how
cool.
evolution works at all.
It's cool.
Yeah, but we
Ready.
were, or I was in California for those. I was actually working, and like, one of the other managers was in the office upstairs, and apparently the cabinet started shaking, and he radioed. He's like, "Hey, anyone else feel that?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, never mind." And then someone else was like, "Yeah, there was an earthquake, right?" I was like, "What?"
Did
No,
all the
was it?
guests in your theaters come piling out?
No.
Ours did.
For that one, no. Apparently for the one the next day, yes.
Okay, yeah, no, but for the one on Thursday?
Well, I mean, Thursday morning is when
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, for the one on Thursday morning,
No one felt it. Like,
our entire all of the people that were in our theater ran out in terror. And we're like, this is not that big a deal. And people are freaking out. Some people are demanding refunds and passes for the inconvenience. We're like, the earth shook. What do you want from us here? Like, we will give you
Yeah, you're
one of
responsible
those.
for that.
Yeah, but I had just gotten home from work on Friday, and I'm like, damn, I got to record one of the stupid vlogs I promised I'd do. And so, yeah, I start recording it, and all of a sudden, the freaking earth starts rolling. And I guarantee you, Chase, you would not have missed this one.
7.1 probably not.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Biggest one in 20 years in California.
Oh, it was a blast. I'm not lying to you, man. I enjoy earthquakes. People call me crazy because it's dumb.
See, that was the biggest one in my lifetime.
I kind of like earthquakes too.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too, because the 7.1 was a rolling earthquake. It wasn't like a shaking earthquake. So you were like, "Whoa, awesome!"
Is there a difference?
Yes, there's a huge difference.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a huge difference. One causes way more damage
Well, apparently that one caused a lot of damage.
right near it.
Yeah, it caused it's a state of emergency in California. The governor.
In San Bernardino County.
Well, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, trust me, it would have been way worse.
If it was shaking.
Yeah, if it was like an actual
I
like,
wouldn't know.
destructive earthquake. I mean, obviously, an earthquake with that much force behind it that we felt it here
Yeah.
was obviously going to cause trouble at its epicenter. Bella
earthquake coming?
agrees. Bella agrees. Please don't joke about that.
Oh, apparently,
It's not too late.
apparently
No.
for that earthquake, she did nothing.
Yeah, she did nothing
We
until
weren't here,
after it
but-
was done. My dad said she poked her head up from her position on her bed after it finished, looked around with her ears up, and then went back down like, whatever.
I knew I was in no danger. Animals.
Yeah. Well, we were in Boston.
Yeah.
People were talking about it.
I like how you didn't really like. You just jumped straight to the Boston thing. You could.
All right, yeah, because we were in Boston. That's why I figured you're not in Boston vlog because we took a Cheyenne and I
Hey.
took.
Hey, Shauna.
What everyone call what?
Hey, Shauna.
Not cool. I have a brother named Sean. Don't
I know.
start doing
Cheyenne
this.
and I took
dad calls
a
me Sean.
trip to Boston starting on Thursday night, 4th of July. We were in the air for some fireworks. That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
And
They
then
were
your
like
plane was
little
hit.
bombs.
they were very small.
Yeah, I drove home through all that on purpose. I stayed in the area so I could go on like the freeways.
You
It's
didn't
so
want to like
cool.
go on the roof. That's way better.
No, it's not. It's way better driving with all of your windows down on the freeway when it sounds like you're in a war zone. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, when we were up in the air. It looked like a fucking war. Like bombs were going off.
Yeah.
When like it was mostly like when it was overcast and we like saw it below the clouds. It was just like a fucking air raid.
Yeah.
And then I think we got to over Kansas and there was like thunderstorms and like
Oh, that was.
there was
cool.
lightning. Like it was fucking terrifying. And I was
Kind
like,
of lit up the.
I
plane.
thought it was fireworks at first, but I'm like, oh no, it's too late for fireworks. Kind of. Like,
Yeah,
too
it was
early in the
already
morning.
like 2.
Yeah,
in the
and
morning.
then it was like too frequent, and I
And
was like,
the
what
wrong color.
Fuck. Yeah, that creeped me the fuck out.
It's cool.
So let's talk about your guys' Boston trip real quick.
Yeah, so we saw a bunch of stuff. We went to the one of the highlights. There was a few. Was the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. That was the
saw
coolest
a
museum.
mummy.
That was the coolest museum I've ever been to. Like we saw dead people.
He didn't come back to life though.
No. We
was
saw
a
a
little
mummified head
disappointed.
and like mummies like like there were literally sarcophagi because apparently it has the biggest Egyptian collection I think in North America.
Yeah.
It was cool, really cool.
I love Egypt.
Yeah.
But you didn't spend the night at the museum.
No.
Wrong city.
Obviously.
And then one of the other things we did because our trip in Boston took place over like 4 days because we didn't count the day that we like the overnight flight we took. But all those days was like over 80 degrees or 80 or over, except for the last day it was like 70 something. And
Sunday was 70s.
okay, and when we went to Salem the second day, it was
Best day.
It was 80 degrees about until about 4 o'clock, and then it started pouring and thundering, and there was thunderstorms.
And there was lightning.
Yeah, and that was fucking ominous.
It was great.
Nothing better than being in Salem, Massachusetts.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, the entire world
were in a
turns against
graveyard.
you.
Yeah, we were in a graveyard. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird, and I was just wearing a Hawaiian shirt and shorts.
I felt welcomed.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming. I just didn't know how hard it was gonna be, so we prepared by bringing one umbrella.
Real
I
weather.
prepared by bringing an umbrella.
Yes.
He did not.
Well, I couldn't fit my giant ass umbrella on the plane, so
You could have bought a smaller umbrella.
and
You
we
could've.
did after the fact. We got drenched and bought an umbrella, and Cheyenne bought a fucking thing. What's it?
Poncho.
And I bought a jacket, and that was that because the wind was blowing the rain sideways.
Yep.
And I was like, but they sell like ponchos and umbrellas in like every store. And I was like, is this a normal thing for them? Shit.
Yes, it's real weather.
Yeah.
Like you need to know, like I'm joking, but I'm not. That is what real weather is like, especially when you get to the East Coast. Like they have rain that's rain, and you just have to live with it.
Yes.
Whereas here it's like, oh my God, God is crying. I think I felt a teardrop.
Exactly.
Well, rain's over.
It's never, I don't think it's ever, or it has, but infrequently poured that hard in California. Like once in a blue moon.
We're in a desert, man.
Yeah. And one of the other things that we did was like walk the Freedom Trail and saw a bunch of like old stuff, which was really cool. But one of the kind of not irrelevant, but not connected to Boston things that we did was the day that we landed at 5 a.m. I slept for like 2 hours on the plane. Cheyenne didn't sleep at all. And I had worked the previous morning. But either way, we were tired, but we had to like go through the whole, like to the morning at least, because we couldn't check into our hotel until at least 3 o'clock, or at latest 3 o'clock. I had called to see if they had like an earlier check-in, and they were like, oh, the earliest we can get you in is 9. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. But otherwise, like 12 would probably be normal. We'll give you a call, because we went to the hotel to like check our bags until we could get checked in. And they're like, we'll give you a call. So like, okay, we have stuff. Like, what can we do? So it was 7 in the morning at that point, because we stuck around the airport.
We went to a park.
Yeah, so we went to Boston Common to walk around and stuff, and until the there was a theater there that opened at like their show 9 o'clock or whatever for Spider-Man, which we had not seen, and we're like, yes, perfect opportunity. We have time to kill right now. We're too tired to like go and do anything right now, so let's go watch a movie, Spider-Man.
I started falling asleep.
During the trailers, but once it started, I think we were both pretty awake, paying attention, because this movie was
got popcorn.
Awesome, that too, yeah.
Hey, spoilers. We'll get to it.
Yes,
but what you're saying is, you saw it very far from home.
Yes.
Yep.
We were about 3,000 miles from home. And
you watched Spider-Man Far from Home.
Spider-Man Far From Home.
Beautiful.
Like that segue?
I did. I mean, that's exactly how I was hoping you would segue it in. So our main topic today is going to be about Spider-Man Far From Home.
Spider-Man.
Nope, don't do it. Nope, don't do it.
Far From Home.
Stop it.
Spider-Man, you are not that close to where you live now. Yeah.
Clap.
The classic Spider-Man theme.
Yes.
Yeah, you listeners all know it, right?
So,
listeners,
before we start going into detail, what was your overall feeling from this film?
Okay. I loved it.
Same. It was great.
Agreed.
Cheyenne?
I liked it.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I feel like it's hard not to like it.
Yeah. I agree, but I know there are people who didn't.
That did not
They're
like it at all?
Yes. Well, these are the same people who didn't like Homecoming.
Oh, okay.
I
For
very much
like the humorous part of it? Okay, I assumed, because most other Avengers movies are kind of more serious, besides a few of them. But Spider-Man had, like, Homecoming and Far From Home has this kind of brand of humor.
Yeah, it's like teen comedies.
Yeah, it's
that
Spider-Man
are
human.
Yeah.
Humor.
Spider-Man human.
Spider-Human.
Spider-Human, come here. I really enjoyed it.
California English, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I had there were some twists and turns in that movie, and then after the movie that were
the two best or mid-credit and post-credit scenes in all of the MCU.
Yeah, probably.
One of them means more than the rest of the movie.
Yeah, like that. I don't see how that shouldn't or wouldn't have been put in the main film, because people will just walk away not knowing that there's
it's the real ending of the movie. That's what I've been describing to people.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to at least watch the mid-credit scene. It's the real end of the movie.
Yeah, you will not understand whatever comes after this without watching this mid-credit scene, because it has such big ramifications.
Exactly.
And like it might have a flashback or something in a following film, and you're like, when did that happen?
Yeah, no.
It's in the movie you watched just right
you
little
just
after.
missed the end of it because you were in a hurry. Yeah, whenever I see people leaving the theater before, I some part of me wants to go like, don't go yet, but I'm like, I'm not gonna boss around guests.
It's like, no, please go so I can clean sooner.
That's usually how people feel.
Yeah. But yeah, on the whole, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. There were some really funny jokes. There is at least one incredible cinematic scene that blew my damn mind. Felt like something straight out of Doctor Strange, except crazier.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
The acting was incredible.
yes, and basically everybody was great.
Yeah.
I found my new favorite character
All right,
in
so
the MCU.
there you go.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
We'll
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we're we're trying not to go into detail just in case you have not seen the movie.
True, true.
But for anybody who saw the trailers and stuff, the general setup of this film is that Peter, he's going on a class trip with all of his friends who were all definitely snapped out of existence by Thanos. Literally, like every
they're
single one of
blipped.
them,
They were
and so they were blipped back into existence at the same time. So they're all still the same age. Blah 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 blah. But they're all going
Except
on
for
a
one
class trip.
friend.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Let's
that
not
doesn't
spoil any
make
fun.
sense anymore.
Yeah. But they're all going on a trip, and despite all of Peter's best efforts, Nick Fury is very insistent that Spider-Man help them stop a world-class threat with the help of a new hero in town, Mysterio.
Quentin Beck.
Quentin Beck. And apparently there are a group of elemental creatures that are like,
Yep. From his universe, because he is from a different universe.
yes, that are wreaking havoc all over the planet. They're trying to get to the Earth's core, and they'll destroy the entire planet and move on from there. So needless to say, Spider-Man needs to do something to stop this with the help of his new friend Quentin Beck.
Yep. And where's all the other Avengers? Doing stuff.
They're busy. But and the big question looming large is the big thing looming large over all of this is the legacy of Tony Stark.
Yeah, that was. I don't want to say heavy-handed, but
I mean, it's
very prominent in this
yes.
film.
But I mean, to be fair, it was in Homecoming also.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the synopsis straight out of the trailer, basically. And I will say that the movie, I mean, it follows through with all this, and there are some really cool action set pieces. Jake Gyllenhaal is really enjoyable
Yeah.
as Quentin Beck. All your favorite people who are returning from the last movie are just as good, if not better. And there's just a whole lot to enjoy.
Yes.
I like this movie more than Homecoming.
Yeah, I'm finding difficulty figuring out which one I prefer.
I rewatched Homecoming a couple days ago to verify.
Yeah.
I agree. I like this more than Homecoming.
I think it had. I mean, Homecoming has its big scene. Well, like its big chunk of time where it's like straight from freaking Vulture answering the door all the way to the end of that awkward car ride.
Right.
So like that is the high point in that film. And I still remember gasping out loud in the theaters when I watched Homecoming. Like spoilers for Homecoming, I suppose. But there's that moment, that plot twist in that movie that just blew my damn mind when I saw it for the first time. And then everything leading up to like the final confrontation between the two of them was great. I am not a huge fan of the final battle in that movie. And I feel like the movie meanders a bit too much in the beginning. And so like I feel like it had a really high, but it had like some middling stuff. I enjoyed Homecoming all the way through. At no point would I be like, this is a bad movie. But I just felt like it kind of got in its own way some ways. And it felt like John Watts was still trying to like get his, like director John Watts was still trying to like get his feel for the characters and the universe and action in particular. Because I don't think the action in that movie was that good. I feel like a lot of those issues are kind of fixed in this one and replaced by a couple different ones. I feel like this movie has some pacing issues.
Yeah, I know a lot of people had. Some people had issues with this. Some other people just pointed it out. That like the first half of the movie is really like teen comedy.
Yep.
And then after a certain point, it kind of picks up, and that's when it shines. I liked the first half of the movie.
I enjoyed the first half of the movie too, but I definitely think the second half of the movie is much stronger. But no, I mean, the first half of the movie, it's a fun, quirky, like teen romantic comedy that has some Spider-Man action in the middle of it from time to time. And it is a funny movie.
Yeah, some like these jokes had me laughing.
But yeah, there is a turning point in the film where it starts getting a bit more serious. Not like it ever loses its sense of fun, really.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this movie, I don't know if I've been in another movie that has done this, but Cheyenne and I remember, I don't remember which specific scenes that it had happened during, but I know there were times where like we kind of looked at each other and we're like, what? And like we had these like outbursts in the middle of the theater, and I hate those guests generally, but the people sitting behind us, I'm like, oh, we're probably annoying, or at least I'm annoying. But I was like, and can't remember another movie that's done that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, or like either the reaction or just the humor, like me laughing of it. I'm like, I'm never that kind of person to go into a movie and do like react that way during a movie, but it was good.
Yeah. So I think our overall opinion is see this damn movie. If you were even considering it, you probably already have.
That seems to be a lot of our opinions about movies.
Well,
see this movie.
It's because we don't really review movies we don't like.
That's true. And usually they're only the big ones that are good in their own right.
I mean, even reviewing all those old movies, like we enjoyed most of them.
That's true.
There were only a few I wasn't a fan of.
Yeah, if you're not familiar with what we're referring to, go listen to our episode of
reviewing old movies you've never seen.
Yeah, that one.
All right, but for everybody else who has already seen the movie, this is spoiler time. It's spoiler time. It's really hard to talk about this movie without spoiling it.
Yeah.
Because there's a turning point, and everything that happens in the second half of this movie is spoilers.
Yes.
Even though
there was a stark turning point.
A stark turning point.
Yes.
Tony Stark is still alive.
No, Ned Stark.
Dun, no.
Ned Stark is still alive.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right. But yeah. So spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, guys! Mysterio was the bad guy.
Wow. Who would have thought?
Not my mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No. My mom has no idea who Mysterio was, and so she's like,
she's one of the few.
Yeah, I know. No, I know a couple people that didn't know that was coming. Because you got to bear in mind, there are a lot of people watching these movies who do not know Spider-Man's whole rogues gallery, especially ones that have never been in a movie before.
I am not familiar with anything about Mysterio other than that he is a Spider-Man villain.
Yeah,
I don't know anything that he does or like his backstory or anything like that. I'm just aware that he is a villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Quentin Beck is our villain for this movie. And it basically played out exactly how I thought it was, minus I didn't know Edith existed. But like,
oh my goodness, Edith.
Yeah, even dead, I'm the hero.
Yes. I love that.
What a fucking Tony move.
Right? It's great.
All right. So, Quentin Beck's, like the reveal that happens halfway through the movie, Quentin Beck, not a warrior from another dimension, as he kindly gives us in a giant exposition scene. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of those things where I'm like, this is super heavy-handed, but it's just justifiable enough in universe with a series of toasts.
Yeah.
So we discover that all of the elementals are fake, which is impressive, honestly.
Yeah, that tripped me out.
I knew that was coming. His thing is illusions.
Oh, yeah. See, I didn't know that.
There was a moment where they kind of show you that it's not quite real.
Yes. But you need to be paying attention. Right? You need to be paying attention, though. That's the thing.
Hey, I was paying attention for once.
Yeah, there are actually two different moments. Yeah. There's one moment in Venice that's kind of like, that's a little suspect, because it kind of glitches out really quickly, but it's hard to notice because it's a giant watery thing. And then, there's the moment where the projector shoots out of it.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, what's that?
Yeah, in the fight, but they're in the middle of too many other things, and then MJ goes to track it down. But... Yeah, these are all a series of projections, including like the Mysterio suit flying around.
Yeah.
Which I didn't actually see coming. I thought he was going to be in a real suit.
Something that I was confused about, kind of. So these drones that are actually operating these illusions, they can like, it was shown that they have like they can push and they can like shoot bullets or whatever for damage. And then was it like one was fire?
I think so.
They can get fire. Can they spray water? Because there is that scene in Venice where I was gonna say Tobey Maguire. Peter Parker gets drenched by the wave that is supposed to be simulated.
No, it's a real wave. So they show you they're underwater. So they actually make sure to show you during the scene in London that they are pushing the water because that last elemental, quote unquote, is supposed to be all the elementals combining.
Okay.
And so they show them underwater and then they push it. And so it creates like a wave that hits against the thing.
That clears up my question.
There you go. So no, they were smart about it because I read an interview and stuff. They're like, we specifically went through all of these scenes. We knew exactly what the drones could do, and we made sure that at no point during any of these scenes does that break the illusion. And it's all doable by what we set up in universe.
Genius.
Yes, indeed. Genius. But yeah, he's putting on a giant show because his goal is to obtain Edith from Peter. Edith is basically, you know how in Captain America the Winter Soldier, I mean, I don't.
I don't.
But in Captain America the Winter Soldier, the big problem with Hydra was that they had developed a system that could keep an eye on everybody, spy on everybody, and kill anyone at any moment if they're a threat, and that was a bad thing.
Yep.
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 Well, our hero Tony Stark did the exact same thing, and it's a good thing now.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing because only he had prior only he had
And
the
then
power.
he gave it to a 16-year-old.
Yep.
16-year-old boy. Now, here's the real question. When did he do that? Because, let's all remember, Peter was dead up
When-
until about 10 minutes before Tony died.
When he met him. I mean, like,
It's just a big
Well, is it possible
Yeah.
that he did it either like pre or post Endgame?
I mean, it can't be post Endgame.
Well, not post Endgame, post Infinity War. In between,
I
in
find it-
between where
okay.
he's like,
I don't think
I
he
find
would.
it
Or-
I find it hard to believe he did it post Infinity War. He might have done it pre Infinity War.
okay, yeah, pre Infinity War, or like after he decides to work on the time machine and can figure he's gonna bring everyone back, but before they actually go through with anything.
I don't know. The fact is, it's a silly thing, but he he entrusts Peter with basically access to an army of kill drones.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, and as we are shown brilliantly. So, okay, let's jump back to the very beginning of this movie, and I will always love you.
Oh, that's a great opening scene.
I mean, so technically the opening scene of the movie is Nick Fury and Maria Hill
Yeah.
going
Right,
to
yeah.
Mexico and running into Beck for the first
That's
time.
the very beginning.
Yeah,
Or is
that's
it-
the
or is it
very
op-
open.
I thought it
Oh.
opened with the.
No,
Probably
it does
Okay.
not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Trust me, it does not, because
Yeah.
this is a jarring, stupid way to start a movie. It's like a 60-second scene. I'm like, and then it ends, and then immediately the Marvel thing starts playing. But then in the background, instead of the normal fanfare, it's
That's right.
And, I'm not going to sing any more of this for multiple reasons. And I Will Always Love You starts playing in the background,
yes.
and then we start going to the slideshow of those
Yeah, I
we've
was like,
lost.
That's great. That's great.
And so we
And
see
then that low resolution picture of Vision.
it's so great because that's all they could clearly get.
It was like Getty Images or something.
Yeah,
That
it had
was
the little
fucking
Getty
amazing.
watermark
Oh,
on it.
it's beautiful. And and then it's Betty Brant and what's his face from the news team essentially at Midtown High.
They somehow got their jobs back.
Hey, well,
when
you
they
know,
came back.
I mean, everyone that mattered blipped away. And so basically in about 2.5 minutes, they just answer all of your questions about how this has worked, and they just move the fuck on.
Yep.
Because look, we're a comedy. We don't have time to deal with the existential dread of everyone just coming back into their lives 5 years after they died.
Oh, they have one joke about it.
Well, no, they have a couple jokes
Oh.
about it, but there's one
favorite,
more joke,
though.
and there's also a joke later. And there's 2 jokes later. But yeah, basically you get all of the ramifications, all the questions. So like all the people that just popped back up where they were. You see all the terrifying scene of everybody like vanishing in the middle of the school assembly, and then the hilarious scene of them reappearing in the middle of the basketball game and all getting tackled and
Yeah.
run into people.
What about those people that were on planes?
Okay, this has been answered out of movie by Kevin Feige. He's
Was
like, Hulk was smart enough when he snapped that everyone was put in a place where they were not in mortal peril. Like
Seems
convenient. But I mean, to be fair, Hulk would be smart enough to do that. And I guess being tackled by a friend isn't mortal peril.
I guess.
So, but I just want to love all the people in airplanes that are now on like deserted islands in the middle of the Pacific or something. They're not in mortal peril. But still, all in all, most of the people that brought back are fine. They never explain this in a movie though, so it's still technically a plot hole.
Yep.
And then there's the one co-host guy who I don't remember his name. Who cares? Makes the mention that his younger brother is now his older brother.
Yeah.
Like all these, you're like, yeah, that would happen. Oh shit. But it doesn't matter because, of course, all the characters we really care about are all still the same age as
Yes,
Peter.
conveniently as well.
Super conveniently, basically our core cast. And we just move on from there because who has time for this? But it does. I do need to mention that one of my favorite jokes in the entire movie is when they're on the plane, and the teacher
Oh,
shares his story. I feel like this is what you were talking about, Cheyenne,
Yeah, yeah.
about how his wife pretended to get like
That's right.
dusted.
blip. Yeah.
Yeah, blipped. And he's like, she just like ran away with one of the guys in her hiking class.
Yeah.
We had a fake funeral for her. I mean, it was a real funeral.
Yeah.
We all thought she was dead.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
That's so horrible. And I laughed my ass
Yeah.
off. All right.
My other favorite one is when Flash is like trying to drink, and,
In the
and
airplane?
MJ's like, "Excuse me, miss." he actually blipped, so he's not 21.
He's
16. I don't know who this
he's
is.
16.
Yeah. Yeah. So Peter has Edith. He accidentally launches a drone strike on Brad Davis.
Yeah, the only person in their class that didn't blip, and now
The only
he's a
person that
hunk.
mattered.
And somehow he's still in their class, even though it was kind of established.
No. Okay, so I've seen the movie twice now.
Okay.
He was the younger brother of one of their old classmates. And so they knew him.
Oh,
They knew him as a little nerdy kid.
kind of makes
But
sense.
he's their same age, and he's like a hunky guy.
Okay.
It's all the ladies.
And an
are like,
asshole.
oh, Brad Davis.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
He thinks he's all cool because he didn't blip.
Yeah, right? Mr. Fancy Pants over here. Hitting on a bunch of people that were dead 8 months ago, but whatever. Yeah. We just have to move on from that, though, because that would just bog us all down in a lot of minutia. So, but Peter has Edith. Yeah, he launches a drone strike on Brad, kind of on accident. I mean, definitely on accident, but kind of on accident. That just teaches us, like,
There's a lot that happens before that.
Look, I'm not trying to summarize the entire movie.
Like with Endgame?
Exactly. I'm trying to avoid that. I'm just hitting some of the important notes and some of my favorite jokes.
Okay.
Yeah. But Mysterio's whole goal is to get Edith, and so he plans all of this to basically play a giant con on Peter to convince Peter that, one, Peter is not able and responsible enough to handle Edith, and two, he is. And he is the proper person to succeed Tony Stark. And he does this, as we learn, because he was the creator of Barf all along. So in the beginning of Captain America Civil War, there's that scene that was set up as exposition to kind of tie into the twist at the end of that movie, where we find out, more of Tony's backstory, but it was like this holographic technology he used to it's like therapeutic. Turns out Quentin Beck, very mad about that because that was his life's work. Tony turned it into a little toy that he named Barf.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then he got fired because I guess Quentin Beck is like a little crazy.
He named it Barf.
But of course, now he's one by one pointing to everybody that helped him. And we find out a lot of these people instrumental in previous films, including the co-star of everyone's favorite meme scene from the original Iron Man. He built it in a cave with a box of scraps. And I love how that is the same actor. They got him back.
Yeah. People rewatched
Yep.
the original Iron Man, like, oh, that's the same
That
guy.
is definitely the same dude. bet he never thought he'd get another gig after that
Yeah,
from that
it's the
same
same
universe.
character.
He's like, I'm brought back like 20 movies later, guys. The power of a shared universe.
Yes.
Where you can see a minor character from a scene that was a meme and it means something. You're like, holy crap, it's that guy.
And he was kind of important in the
Yeah,
end.
he was like the second most important villain.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And then also there was he just goes around the room, introduces us like the 3 supporting villains that we need to know. And he's just like, okie dokie. So moving on. I'm so smart. Woo-hoo-hoo. We've convinced everybody, and now I have Edith, and we can stage an Avengers level threat, and then everyone will love me forever. It's a damn shame I'm gonna have to kill frickin' Fury and Maria Hill, but hey, at least Peter's gonna be fine. Because, he did legitimately like Peter.
Yeah.
He just manipulated him. And he's like, okay, cool. So, I'll have to kill the kid. It's fine. He did his part. And let's move on. Unfortunately for him, and fortunately for us, MJ has been pretty I'm kind of annoyed that they spoiled this in the trailer.
Oh, that she knew
That she
he
just
was
totally
Spider-Man?
kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
I hate that I thought it was going to be like a bait and switch
Yeah.
in the movie itself, but no, it's legitimately the whole movie he's trying to build up the courage to ask out MJ, and has this whole plan with a black dahlia. It's named after the murder.
I love that so much.
I knew you would. I remember thinking at one point, I'm like, Shane probably loves this. Because I knew you'd be talking about this. So I'm like, I know that's a hoot for Cheyenne.
That's a hoot and a holler.
It's a hoot and a holler. Yeah, so he has this black dahlia necklace and stuff he's going to give her, and he has this whole plan, and it doesn't quite go according to plan, but he's like, okay, so they're in Prague? And he's like, let's go before our trip is canceled by all these terrible things that keep happening around us. Why is no one questioning we're in all of the places where these monsters keep showing up? But moving on. Yeah, so they're like out walking around, and he's like, "There's something I've been meaning to tell you." And she's like, "Is it that you're Spider-Man?" And he's like, "I'm not Spider-Man."
What?
It's crazy. It's crazy. She's like, "No, that was Night Monkey." Oh, maybe he's like a spider monkey. I don't know. Like, he uses the same webbing, and she pulls out the projector off of like one of the drones.
Yep.
And it's covered with his webbing. But he's like, "What's that?" And they accidentally activate it, and you see like this holographic image like just swoop through, and they're like, "What the hell was that?" And they're like, maybe were all the elementals like a hologram? Like, why would anyone do that? And they plays again, and then you can see Mysterio like blasting, and that's when they realize that. And Peter's like, "Oh no, I made a huge mistake. Okay, so I am Spider-Man, and I fucked up, and we gotta go." And she's like, "Wait, I was right? I was only like 67% sure." It's like, I got it. And so yeah, he now knows that Quentin Beck is a dirty, rotten scoundrel. Unfortunately, Beck figures out that he knows, and he's like, "God damn it! Now I gotta kill the kid." Yeah. So he has this whole plan, and it's known that like Fury is going to somewhere. Berlin. Thank you. He's going to Berlin to talk to people, to do stuff. I don't even remember. I don't care. But the fact is, he knows Fury's going to Berlin. He knows that Beck's bad news, and he's always like, "We need to go there. We need to protect Fury. We need to tell him what's going on." And he goes in, and Fury like picks him up in the car, and immediately I'm like, "It's not Fury."
You could tell.
Of course. When you start hearing questions like, "Have you told anybody else?" or any of these things, and a dude with, I'm like, "Nope, can't trust him."
That's not.
No. That isn't that scene. He changes the subject the first time.
Oh.
Yeah. As they're like walking up into the steps and stuff, and it's like, oh, this whole thing going on. And Peter's like, "Look, you need to understand, like, Beck's bad news, da-da-da." And he kind of takes a second. He's like, "He's here." And all of a sudden, like, everything goes away, and the building looked really nice. Now it's like shitty. But the illusion of Nick Fury stays.
Yeah.
And gets shot, like sniped. And out of nowhere, like, Mysterio shows up, and now we get my favorite freaking set piece in the entire movie. Now, when you think of a villain who makes illusions, but nothing's actually real and stuff like that, and you're like, well, how hard could that be to deal with?
Yeah.
This scene is the exact counter and argument for that entire
It's such a crazy scene.
It's hard to describe as he just subjects Peter to just a series of illusions that completely disorient and like throw him off guard, confuse him, hurt him, like not physically, but like emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
As he's punching walls and like taking leaps off of things, smashing into the ground. It's like unable to keep up with what's going on. Has freaking zombie Iron Man crawling out of a grave after him.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Like there's so much crazy shit going on. You're just like, oh my God, how do you win? It's like the only
use your Peter tingle.
Yes, we will get to that. I have a whole argument about the frickin' Peter tingle.
Okay.
But yeah, so and then in the middle of nowhere, it looks like Spider-Man's about to get taken down, and boom, Beck gets shot. And Nick Fury shows up with a bunch of S.H.I.E.L.D. dudes. He's like, "I had a feeling something was wrong the whole time." It's like, we dealt with Beck now. Like, we need, like, who else is in danger? Like, who, like, we don't know if he's working alone. Who else is in danger? Like, who else have you told?
At that point, I'm like, oh, no.
Yes, of course. And you're just like, shit, no, Peter, stop. Peter, stop. And he's just like, "Oh, my friends, blah, 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 blah." And he mentions, and it's like, and he's like, damn it. As the illusion fades away, and Beck's just like standing there again. He's like, "Thanks for letting me know." And he does some more illusions, shoves Peter back a little bit farther, and takes the illusion down just in time for Peter to see that he's getting hit by a train.
It's fucking crazy.
And yeah, as we watch our heroes just hit by a full speed train.
Christ.
And he's like, "Well, that's dealt with. Time to go kill the rest of those kids." You're just like, holy shit.
Yeah, but you forget, Spider-Man's super strong and super sticky.
I'm super strong. I'm super sticky. Yeah, so basically, long story short, Peter ends up in jail, and then he escapes jail very easily. And he
in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's in the Netherlands. and he makes a call to Happy. And he gets picked up on a Quinjet. And I liked this scene.
Oh, yeah.
It's just this great heart-to-heart between, like, Peter breaks down here. It's just like he's just totally failed. Everything is his fault. And Happy's just like, "Hey, man, like, it happens." He's like, "I'll never live up to Tony's legacy." He's like, "Man, Tony doesn't live up to Tony's legacy. Like, he never had faith in anything he did except for you."
Yeah.
You're just like, "Aw." Oh, it hit me in the feels. Damn it, Tony, you're dead for a whole movie. You're still making me feel things.
Even dead, he's the hero.
Even dead, he's the hero. And so we get that moment. It was like, but he's like, well, I need to save my friends. I need to stop Beck. Like, this is my responsibility. I need a suit. And so he's like, oh, I can do that. So like the whole back of the ship opens up and there's like a whole like Tony Stark workstation.
Yeah, like a build your own suit.
Yep. a build a suit station back there. And he's like, okay. And so and just for like that last little tie-in together. And I honestly think like the real close of like this arc of Peter kind of like aspiring to be Tony. Get some AC/DC playing.
Get some Led Zeppelin.
And it's like, oh, I love Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then that proud father look from Happy. Slight tear kind of to the corner of his eye. And he's like, okay, I'm going to fly the plane now.
Yep. And so Peter builds his new suit, which instead of blue has black. It looks real sleek and stuff.
Wow, new merch.
Yep, exactly. Got to have new suits every episode. You got the stealth suit every episode. Every oh my god, please no.
Every appearance?
Every movie, you got to have a slightly new suit to sell.
There's two now.
Yeah, there's two this time: the stealth suit and the new improved suit with the black. But he builds his new suit. They fly over. Beck has like co-opted the trip for all of the kids. They're now in London, where Beck is planning like his big hit because he's just going to kill two birds with one stone, stop this huge threat, and kill the kids all at once. Has them on like a tour bus, and it's being driven by one of his cohorts, and just abandons it in the kill zone. It just like moves along, and Nick Fury and Maria Hill are there, and they're like, okay, cool. Let's we know that one last big threat is coming. Need to deal with this. And he's like, okay, let's go. We got this. Alrighty. And Beck's like, yeah, I'm the hero now, bitches. And Peter shows up just as like this gigantic elemental that's supposed to be all the elementals coming together at once, like swoops in and starts like laying waste to everything. Peter jumps down, and his whole plan is like, look, if I get inside the illusions, I can disable them. Like, I can deal with all of the drones. I have retrofit some electric webs so I can shut them all down like a boss. And yeah, and so like his whole plan is just to get inside the illusion, handle it before Beck even notices he's there, and save the day. And Happy's job is to save the kids.
Yep.
Long story short, Beck notices we get our big superhero battle against Spider-Man versus an army of drones. He finally gets to Beck, and they have one final encounter on the little sky bridge. And Peter knows he's stuck in another illusion, but there's only one way for him to get out of it. It's to turn to the might of the Peter Tingle. So
such a name.
The spider sense in the MCU has had a bit of give and take. First, you kind of saw a glimpse of it in Civil War in the airport fight, because there's one moment where he just like knows that like a freaking billboard's getting chucked at him from behind, so he dumps out of the way.
Yep.
But then like in all of Homecoming, they never once allude to having any sort of spider sensey thing. And then in the beginning of Infinity War, his hair stands up when the portal comes. He's like, oh, is that the spider sense? It must be.
Yeah.
And then apparently, okay, so there are basically two ways to interpret. And then at the start of this movie, like May like chucks a banana at him, and he doesn't even know, and he's just hit in the face. She's like, "What? Your Peter Tingle not working?" He's like, "Please don't call it that. Please don't call it Peter Tingle, because we don't have a proper name for it yet." But there are only two alternatives in this universe now. It is either that the spider sense is the worst it's ever been and is horribly finicky and fickle, or it's like a muscle he has to train.
I feel like it's the latter.
I feel like it is too. They don't explain it in the movie though, and I wish they would have, because they kind of make it seem like it's not working. At the beginning of the movie, he's like, "Oh, it doesn't always work. Like, it's not like working right now or whatever." Which I feel like he's just like, "Look, I feel like this would have been solved so much easier if he's like, it doesn't always work, May. Like, I don't even know what this is." And then it's like actually becomes like an arc to getting it to work at the end of the movie instead of it just working at the end of the movie. Yeah. And we get the final battle. And Peter uses his Peter Tingle.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of establish that obviously he has it.
Yes.
But I feel like it's more so it's something that he has to kind of tune into or at least like
Kind of defeats the purpose of it.
that's true. I don't know.
I know. I feel like just moving forward, he's just gonna have it now. I feel like this was that kind of their way to fully address it.
Yeah, I guess so.
And
And
him
name
like,
it something.
please rename it. It's
I like the
hilarious.
name.
It's hilarious, but it just feels wrong. The Peter Tingle. See, now I was thinking, like before we like totally just like flip the boat, but I was thinking like, well, he's gonna have to rename it so that nobody, so he can call it that in public without anybody suspecting his secret identity. We'll get to this.
Spider sense.
Yeah, it's spider sense. But yeah, so he manages to use it, just like in a pretty cool little scene, just like take out all of the freaking drones in the sky bridge. I feel
Without
like
getting hit by a single bullet.
yeah, well, you know, it's Spider-Man.
Hey, it's that Peter Tingle.
It's that damn Peter Tingle,
But
man.
his body
Peter
doesn't mean
Tingle,
he can
man.
move that fast in the
Peter
air.
It's Peter Tingle, man. I don't know what to tell you. It's Peter Tingle.
Obviously it
Thousands of
does.
drones.
It's Peter Tingle, bro.
Okay.
It's cool. He's Spider-Man. This is where you're suspending your not unable to suspend your disbelief
I
anymore.
know, right?
Yeah, where like thousands of bullets are going at
They're
him.
not all shooting at him though.
What are they shooting?
They aren't. If you rewatch that scene, like they first like get really weirdly close to him, not shooting at him. So does that make sense? Is it a dumb move? Yes. But is he being shot at? No. And so they get close enough. Then he starts using them as shields.
Yeah.
I mean, again, is it good? It was cool. I don't care. So yeah, he manages to like dismantle the entire army of drones. There were a couple drones that weren't shooting, and Beck was getting really mad. He's like, "Why aren't you shooting?" They're like,
Well, that was
you're-"
in the bridge, yeah.
yeah, in the bridge scene.
Well, I mean, like around the bridge scene is when they were shooting. At him.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
he wasn't
he's-
getting hit by
he's
any of them.
Spidey. You know, it's fine.
Peter Tingle.
We don't know how many times we have to say this. Look, I have played Spider-Man PS4. I know what it feels like to be Spider-Man.
Yes,
You
you have
are
first-hand
Spider-Man.
experience.
I have dodged many bullets from
Okay,
machine
Neo.
guns. Okay? It's what it feels like to be Spider-Man. You would understand if you were like me and knew what it was like to be Spider-Man.
Hey, I played the PS2 game.
Yeah, but it's not the PS4 game. The PS2 game, you just kind of run around the city as Spider-Man. But in the PS4 game, you feel what it feels like to be Spider-Man, okay?
Okay.
I do love, too, at the end of the movie, there's a little callback to that game. But we'll get to that in a second. There's actually two callbacks to the game in the movie. One of them is in the scene when he's building the suit. All the different like options to all the templates. One of them is the white spider suit.
I assume.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. There's also a reference to it in Into the Spider-Verse. It's one of the suits that you see in Peter's thing. I like how they've embraced that game a little bit.
Yes.
But so he gets through. Beck's just like, look, fire everything. They're like, you're in like the danger zone here. Like he's getting close. Like we don't want to. He's like, I don't care. Just shoot everything. And so yeah, so as Peter's fighting off the things, they're firing their machine guns, and it whips around, and yeah, it hits Beck. He gets shot. You know, giving Peter that convenient moment where it's like he can permanently deal with a bad guy, but he doesn't have to feel guilty about it at all. Freaking the glider that impales Norman Osborn, the Dr. Octopus that's like letting himself fall into the water. It's like they just do this move every time.
Yep.
Or just Vulture not dying. Sandman being allowed to leave.
Yes.
Your only options are, well, I understand I've done bad. Thank you for showing me the right course, Spider-Man, or I killed myself.
Basically.
But yeah, so he gets up to Beck, and he's like, it's over, Beck. You're dying on the floor now
He's
because
like,
you've been shot by a bullet.
You're right.
Yeah, Beck's just like, you know what? He's like, I trusted you. He's like, that's the worst part. Like, you're so gullible and stupid.
Yeah.
But you're right. I shouldn't have these. You should.
And
And he hands the glasses
gives
to him.
back.
I loved this moment, actually.
Yeah, this one was like favorite part of the scene.
It's so cool because all of a sudden, you just see him reach and you hear a gunshot
Yeah, I was
noise.
like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no idea what was going on.
But I was like,
it
I'm like, that
pans
seems
close.
too easy for him to just give over the glasses. I'm like, that's
Exactly.
convenient. But I didn't suspect what was going to happen next.
Yeah, and so it zooms in close to Peter and pans out. And Beck was actually standing right next to him with a gun up to his head and about to shoot him and kill him.
Okay. So you rewatched this scene, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you see Beck get shot by the drones and on the floor, he's dying, hands the Edith to Spider-Man, and then you see Beck actually is standing next to him shooting him.
Yes.
He grabs the gun and like punches him, or what does he do?
He just grabs the gun. He just grabs the gun and blocks it. Beck has still been shot, and so he
Okay.
falls.
Okay, that's where, like, I think it happened too fast or something because There was like speculation on whether Beck is actually dead.
Oh no, I
because-
still don't think he's dead.
Yeah, well, because then Peter's like, Edith, is this real?
And she's like, all the
all
illusions
illusions
are
are offline, but she does not say that he's dead. He never checks the vitals, and he
Yeah.
just like leaves him.
Yeah. So like, was he
Um,
even really shot?
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, I didn't think because he was he was well enough to stand, and I thought that Peter like grabbed the gun and like disarmed him and like punched him to the ground, and he just like fell over, keeled over, and like died. I was like,
no.
what?
The thing is that he's still supposedly been shot.
Yeah, but
And
it's
he's
still
dying from the bullet wound.
unclear of whether he actually has died due to that tricky
Yeah,
name, the tricky words.
I don't think they've killed him. I think they want you to think he's dead, and it's like it's
Yeah, because
you can take it either way. I think it's set up to where it's like they could easily convince us that he was survived that if
Yeah.
they want to bring him back. If not, we can just assume he's dead.
Jake Gyllenhaal was great in this movie.
Yes, he was.
And he definitely deserves to be in the MCU for more than one movie.
Yeah, I really hope they bring him back and build more on that, like the relationship there with them being enemies and actually carry on a bad guy.
I just hope he shows up as a member of the Sinister Six.
Yeah, if that becomes a thing.
Are they? Gonna
It'll be
do
a
that?
thing.
Okay.
I guarantee you it'll be a thing. Because I feel like now that Peter... Okay, we'll get to this in a second. I'll talk about thoughts for future
Okay.
movies. But yeah, he manages to stop back. He goes down. He runs into MJ. My God, this man was doomed no matter what. He's just walking around on the freaking bridge without his mask on.
Yeah.
Clearly, you don't actually care about your secret identity.
Dude, that's
at
what
all.
I was like, at that moment, I'm like, what the fuck? And
You're
then,
really lucky
And then
they're-
like no one is around. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
like,
no one's around for this?
Convenient, but I guess.
Yeah. I forgot to mention that, like, for Nick Fury and Maria Hill, like, they're up there.
That was awesome.
But Happy calls Nick Fury. He's like, "Hey, we found your surfboard." And he's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, everybody's like, I don't think Nick Fury would have a surfboard." It's like, but I say, appearances can be deceiving. And
He's got the encoded message.
yeah, and he's like, "Shut up! Don't talk to me." He's up the phone, but then he looks all serious and like, "Oh, okay, I think he figured it out." That incredibly
And you
hard
see
code.
Maria like just leave.
Yeah, she just kind of like goes.
Goes on the roof and it's like, okay, she knows maybe at this point, and then
Yeah, and so she goes up to the roof. She's like putting together something, and then you see it's like a freaking rocket launcher. She takes out the drone.
It's
that has
right
just
in
been
front.
camped in front of Fury the entire time,
so cool.
waiting to kill him.
And he has that line. He's like, "You got my back."
Yep,
And then it gets shot down. She's like, "Yeah."
I got your back.
That was awesome.
It's also fun.
Except for she got his front.
yeah,
And is that like there was just one on both of them,
Hey,
and
it's
it
all it needed.
ignored Maria as she left?
I think he was busy. He still had to be running the drones. Like, he had to be controlling them, so he kind of left most of them on autopilot. He gave them like missions,
Yeah.
but he was kind of preoccupied
Yeah.
with dealing with Peter.
Well, I mean, I assumed that there would have been like one for each in case they separated. you
yeah,
know,
no.
'cause
Why would they?
Why wouldn't
It's not like
they?
they're in the middle of a horribly dangerous situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Beck is dealt with. Peter runs into MJ.
Dickies.
Yeah, they kiss a few times, real
A few
awkwardly.
times, yeah. That was okay. MJ in this movie was like
I liked her so much
she
more
was-
in this movie.
Yeah, she was so much more fleshed out, so much better in
Yeah.
this movie.
I love MJ. New favorite MCU character.
There we go. That was all it took.
Yeah.
Your spirit animal in the MCU.
Exactly.
I know.
The Black Dahlia,
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
like the murder.
Tony Stark is gone. I needed a new one. And so was Black Widow. They killed off two of my favorite characters.
In one movie.
Yeah.
Killed
and
off my favorite character in that
one-
movie too. So hey, well, kind of killed him off. So hey, moving on.
I found a new one.
There you go. You just gotta latch onto what you got, right? But yeah, no, I really liked Michelle a lot in this. Love it. They just convinced. It's just MJ now. Let's just move on. Like, let's not even pretend that she's anyone else. Michelle Jones. I don't know who that is. This is MJ. But no, I thought she was great. I thought she was like a fun, like different sort of character. I really liked the two of them together in the couple scenes that they had. I liked, and I thought this would be more impactful, that she figured out his secret identity, and I thought that would be fun moving forward.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just like a cute little thing between them, and it helped tie a lot of the first half of the movie together. So they have their kiss, they have their scene. Also, I really enjoyed freaking Ned and Betty's relationship.
Oh, their vacation long relationship.
That was great.
Yeah, like,
Oh, we broke up.
Yeah, don't need to touch much on that, but yeah. So they get back home. They find in New Jersey. You find out that like Ned and Betty broke up. Oh, like maybe we should double date sometime. Oh, we broke up. Sometimes men and women grow apart. You are so wise. Thank you.
Yeah, I was like, what are they gonna bring this forward?
They're not. Yeah, and then we get a payoff to a super side like story with Flash and not being able to get a hold of his mom all movie.
Yeah, that's right.
And so his mom doesn't even show up to pick him up at the airport.
Yeah, where's this gonna
actually
go?
felt
It seems
bad
like
for
it's
him.
actually important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like there's a scene he's in like the background of a scene in Venice where he's repeatedly trying
Yeah.
to call someone,
Yeah.
and then on the scene in the bus, you can see all of his texts where he's trying to text his
Yes,
mom and there's no
exactly.
responses, and so it's like this really like
Yeah.
background
Sad.
scene that it's just you feel so sad for him.
I was
even though he's
watching-
such a dick.
I was watching someone review this movie, and they're like, "Oh, is this the point where like next movie we find out that his last name is Osborne?"
No. They can't pull that trick again. You can't just keep having some characters be other characters. But he shows up and gets picked up by May. He's like, "Hey, welcome back. Where are your bags?" "Oh, that's right. They all got blown up."
Ma'am, you can't park here.
"Don't give me your ticket." Just enjoying basically all of the characters in these movies.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot
The
JB
happy-
Smooth's character and
Oh.
his thing with like, "It's the witches. They're back."
The witches. As a matter of science, it's witches. But there was that whole happy May side.
Yeah, the Happy May romance thing.
That, summer fling.
It's like, "Are you two dating?" "Yes, no." I mean, yeah, summer fling that evolved into something more meaningful. We don't really know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun character interactions in this movie that really made everybody feel like a bit more three-dimensional.
Yes.
There's just a lot of fun, kind of positioning Happy into this father figure role
Yeah,
for
'cause
Peter,
that-
which is great. And
You
I
can see
like
that
him
evolving
there.
throughout the whole movie. It's
Yes.
like, yeah, he's definitely this father figure, but also like Quentin was taking
The
like,
mentor
the
role,
mentor role.
and he was using it and twisting
Yeah.
it to his own means. And so, yeah, I think that, like, yeah, you have that evolution where it's like after Quentin betrays him and stuff, he
Yeah.
finds like his real father
He
figure.
may have been
and
your
Happy.
father, but he weren't your daddy.
He weren't your daddy. So many MCU movies are about fathers and father figures. Like, that's what so many of these movies are about. Every
Yeah.
character has some sort of like father figure problem or
True.
something.
It's like
Regular Disney.
yeah, it's like
and
Disney
all
with the mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mother problems. Hey,
Um,
it fits. Other part of the puzzle there.
Yep.
Yep. They're two halves of a whole, Disney and Marvel.
Oy.
Yeah, so Peter meets up with MJ in the city. We finally, after 4 appearances of Spider-Man in the MCU, get a scene of him swinging around in Manhattan.
Oh yeah, have we not?
No, not like a full actual scene of him just swinging around in the
With
city.
the selfie, selfie.
Yeah,
or
the
taking
selfie,
selfies?
which is another reference to Spider-Man, the game.
Mm.
That's an exact pose he takes in the game.
Okay,
Yeah, it's on like some of the artwork and stuff.
I think that's a pop now.
Oh no.
For the movie though.
That's fine. And so, yeah, he picks up MJ. He's like, "Let's go swinging. You're going to love this." Spoilers. She does not.
Never again.
So, oh, God. Why am I looking? Oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, man.
And we get that mid-credit scene where she lands. It's like never again. Wasn't that in the trailer too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it ends with them in the air still, right?
Yeah. Well, it ends with him swinging
Yeah.
and him losing grip of her.
Oh, yeah,
And she's
like-
falling. She's screaming, and he goes to grab her like
That
off in the
was
distance. And
amazing.
that's when the credits are playing.
Yeah.
We get Vacation.
Yes.
And-
Go-Go's.
Yep. And then after about a minute and a half of credits,
When I really had to use the restroom, I'm like, come on.
we get the real ending of the damn movie, which picks up right after that.
Yep.
He drops her off in
Never
the middle
again.
of Times Square. Never doing that again.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you swinging with a girl, you're Spider-Man. Is no one going to question who this girl is?
Maybe he
Yeah.
saved her, and he just dropped her off here.
Except for they're talking as if they know each other.
No one seemed to care that much, which
Yeah,
blew my damn mind.
That's
I would've
very
been like-
true. They did it. They're
He's
like,
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 oh,
like,
like,
who's
oh.
this girl? Paparazzi? Like,
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's just Spider-Man picking up
just keep
chicks, whatever. Move along. He's
Yeah.
such a perv.
just keep walking away. I'm like, it's
And-
major news, guys.
Speaking of major news,
yes.
so he
Did that on purpose.
good job. You're really getting this podcasting down.
Yeah.
Goes up onto a nearby street lamp, about to swing away to do his job, and
With that one guy.
and yeah, we have a news bulletin. It's like from an anonymous source, we received this video about the death of Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. Warning, like something we're about to see is disturbing. And Beck, basically, Beck and his team like doctored
Well,
a
because
bunch of
before
footage.
this, I don't know if it was before the end of the movie,
Uh-huh.
like right before the end. But you see the other scientist take a USB,
Downloading.
It
It says like download complete, and he pulls it
yeah,
out.
he pulls it out of the laptop and he like walks away like, yeah, Now
I
that's important. I was like, okay,
it had to be.
something's happening.
I just thought it was going to be like a setup for him. Just feel like I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah.
So Beck had doctored a bunch of footage and manipulated a bunch of stuff and basically set up this narrative that Spider-Man, Beck managed to stop the interdimensional creature. Spider-Man launched an army of drones of Stark technology at him.
So when Edith was like, "Do you want me to execute or execute order for all
drones?" Like, yeah, execute all of them.
Yeah, execute them all. I'm like, that's bad wording. I'm like, okay, that might come back later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would you say that?
That's just they had to tip. So
but then it
all of a
kinda
sudden they
blew off
doctor it in this, and so it's like, do you want to many people will be hurt? Do you wish to execute them all? He seems like he's like trying to kill everybody in the area. And so Beck's like, I don't think I'm getting off this bridge alive. Like Spider-Man's gonna kill me. He doesn't want anybody else to be the next Iron Man or something like.
Oh, he wants to be the next Iron Man, I think.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't want anyone else to be the next Iron Man.
Yeah.
He's like, just him, no one else. And then it's like this footage was brought to us by a controversial website, thedailybugle.net.
That's right.
And my God,
Jonah Jameson.
But as played by J.K. Simmons again.
Oh, yes.
I lost my damn mind, as did my entire theater.
There you have it.
There you have it. And he's like, Spider-Man is a criminal. And Quentin Beck will go down as the greatest superhero of all time. And it was like, but hold on to your hats. There's another. That's not all.
I know, because when that was like, I'm like, is that gonna be it?
Yeah, well, that's a big enough deal because it's like making him public enemy number one, which is a thing he's dealt with multiple times in the comics. In fact, I'd never read this comic, but people commented on this. Mysterio's first ever actual appearance in Amazing Spider-Man, I think 13, was him framing Spider-Man for a crime and turning the public against him.
Ooh.
So it's a fun little possible callback. Might be an accident, might not.
I doubt it's an accident.
I mean, who knows? But, but no. And you think, oh man, that's bad. Poor Peter. About to get much worse.
Yes, much worse.
And so then we cut back to Quentin. He's like, Spider-Man's real name is Peter Parker, and it flashes his damn picture up on the screen.
Yeah.
And everyone in the audience shares Peter reaction. What the? And for the second Spider-Man movie in a row, we cut to black with a F-bomb being blocked. Holy crap.
Crazy going into whatever comes next.
Yeah, so that old Parker luck has come back again because Spider-Man can never win. Even when he wins the battle, he loses the war.
Yeah. It's that, wow.
It's so, I don't think we're getting another fun, kitschy high school comedy.
Nope.
I legitimately believe that the next movie is going to be him getting hunted down by a bunch of people, and I think it's going to be like a proto Sinister Six.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel
do you think that he will be present in other movies in the meantime before the next Spider-Man, or will this unfold in another Avengers type?
Okay, so let's break it down. So here are the movies that we know are coming up in no particular order: the Black Widow prequel. No. The Eternals. No. Shang-Chi. Probably not.
Well, I mean, they might try to have a tie-in with any of these, maybe. That
would be a reach.
Mentioning it or something.
Okay, we might get a reference to this in one of these movies. There's one movie where I think it has the highest chance of coming up. We also have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Not there.
No, that's spicy.
The one movie I think that might have a reference that we know is coming up is Doctor Strange 2, strictly because he also lives in New York City. That's all I've got.
There you go.
And Doctor Strange likes having characters pop up in his movies and him popping up in other people's movies.
I think there were multiple Doctor Strange references in this one, or at least they mentioned. I know May mentions him. Is that Mr. Strange?
Is that Mr. Strange? It's like, no.
That's Doctor Strange.
And then also, there's another reference to it. Oh, and he's one of the people who is like, is he busy? He's busy. So we might get something in Doctor Strange. I'd like if Peter popped up in that movie, but I don't think he will. I think maybe a post-credit scene in Doctor Strange is going to be Peter showing up at the Sanctum Sanctorum I need somewhere to hide.
Yeah, that might be it. That kind of makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Unless Happy hides him somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I was thinking is how pertinent is Nick Fury right now?
I feel like they have not announced whatever movie is going to be tied into that, and they're going to in next weekend. Comic-Con.
Oh, that's next weekend?
Yeah.
Shit.
Hall H. They have their announced thing. They're going to be. We know they're talking about Phase 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well,
so we
like,
know a bunch of movies confirmed for it, but we don't know.
How in universe, how important is he at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the
Like,
problem.
Could it be a thing? Like, is he highly regarded in the public eye at all?
I don't think many people know who he is.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, there could be like a Nick Fury thing where like he's like, no, what the fuck? But
I know.
if
Look,
no one knows.
my
the
argument
fuck,
would be that like there are definitely ways to prove that this was not Peter.
Yeah.
But that's too easy.
Yeah. It's a movie.
Exactly.
You gotta have some like convoluted kind of thing to go around.
It's going to be a problem. Ignore the fact that like the superhero community at large could band behind him. Is like, no, we have evidence that like he didn't do this. Blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. Like that's not going to happen. It's not going to work out that way.
No.
That's not how Peter Parker's block ever works. Okay, so let's talk about the end credit scene.
Yes.
So people have kind of been talking about like this as I think a half joke.
Yeah. There was a point before this end credit scene, like in the movie, where Maria Hill and Fury are walking and they mention something about Kree sleeper agents. And at that point, I was like kind of curious about this, like the Captain Marvel storyline, like the Kree skull, where
Skrull.
Yeah.
Kree skull.
Kree Skrull.
Yeah, you said skull.
I said Skrull.
Is that
Whatever.
skull?
Yeah, like where any of this is going or was going, and I'm like, what? Okay, that was like a little reference. Like, what's happening with this?
Yeah, we find out at the end why.
Yeah.
So they're driving in a car, and I'm like, I'm having some bad Infinity War flashbacks.
Oh, true. I didn't even think of that.
As you see, yeah,
Didn't either.
Nick and Maria just driving in a car, and then you hear that I was paying attention to Nick because he was talking, but I heard the telltale sound of someone changing their skin, and I eventually pan over,
that sound.
and I'm like, oh fuck! As Maria has transformed
Yes.
into a Skrull.
Yeah. At this point, I was like, I didn't recognize the scroll, and I'm like, okay.
And then
Oh, I did immediately, and I was like, oh, so she does it too.
all of them do it.
Yeah, I know, but I thought
Well, it's something you have to like. They mentioned
you have
it
to
as,
practice and train.
Yeah,
but
yeah, and because she was always with the kids, so I
Mhm.
just didn't think she'd be like a field agent.
Now, you work with what you got.
Yeah.
So, and then Nick Fury starts transforming, and it's Talos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Mendelsohn's Talos and his wife, whatever her name is.
yeah.
They have been masquerading as Nick Fury and Maria Hill on Earth. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
I get like this, like, I like these characters because of Captain Marvel. Like,
Yes.
He might be my favorite character in that movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, cool. But this is bad.
Well-
like, why is he masquerading as Nick Fury?
Yeah.
And I had like bad feelings. And he's like, you should give him a call. He's like, hey. And I'm like,
You
okay.
should give like
Yeah,
the,
and then I was
they,
like,
didn't- they
oh,
didn't
okay,
specify
good.
who. They
Yeah.
didn't- yeah.
But it's like you should give an update
like,
or whatever.
yeah, like something.
And he's like, hey, and so like his casual tone about the call, I'm like, okay, this isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
He's like, so we gave the kid the glasses.
I figured it
Yeah.
was talking to Fury.
I figured too.
Yeah.
But it was super touching, really emotional. Just hurry up. Okay, so and he kind of like gives a blow by. He's like, look, people are asking where the Avengers are. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to tell them.
Exactly.
And this has gotten me like really excited. But he's like, so I don't know what you want me to do. Like, people asking questions I don't have answers to. Like, what do you want? And then we pan over to Nick Fury, seemingly on a beach, but it looks like the fakest beach on Earth.
Yeah,
And
I'm like, that looks bad. What the hell?
thank God that it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And so he's like chilling out, and he's like, whatever. And he like packs up his stuff. He's got a little drink. He like stands up, and a whole like illusion like fades away. And it's like, okay, that wasn't a real beach. Whew, thank God. I was about to get real worried, Marvel. And he kind of wanders off, and you immediately realize he's on a spaceship.
Yep.
And there are a bunch of Skrulls walking around, and I'm real confused. And he's just like wandering around. He's like, okay, guys, let's get to work. Where are my shoes? And yeah, he's in space.
Phase 4.
Phase 4. So
We're going to space, guys.
a lot of people are theorizing that he is building Sword.
Yeah, I've heard about. Yes.
So Sword, from what I know, is like Shield is like all built around protecting Earth from like alien threats. Sword's job is like to go out into space and deal with threats before they become a problem.
Yeah.
You know, exactly how you think the relationship between a sword and a shield would be.
Yes, Pokemon.
Oh, no. Pokemon is no longer national Pokedex that people are pissed about.
Right.
Yeah, I am really excited for what the fuck that means. And so this movie very much teases and gives us no answers about what's coming afterwards.
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con's right around the corner, guys.
I thought it was funny that like when Spider-Man, I keep saying Spider-Man, Peter Parker, whatever, is like mentioning,
you're talking about.
is mentioning all the people, like all the
Miles?
Avengers. Like,
Oh.
like he only mentions like
He says
four,
three.
three.
It's the rule of three.
Yeah, like
Thor,
There
Doctor
are
Strange,
so
Captain
many
Marvel. Don't
more.
invoke her name.
I think that's what tipped Cheyenne off when she said that. Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That he would say it like that.
It's like,
Like it makes sense that Talos would
Oh,
say
absolutely.
that.
But you think it's just like Fury, like, hey, she's an old friend. Shut up. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I thought
it's
too. I'm
phrased
like-
so interestingly. Yeah, when you watch the movie the whole time, there's so many little clues,
Yes.
and that's a big one. Like, don't invoke her name. You're like, that's a weird reaction.
Yeah.
yeah. At first, I thought it was just Fury like losing his stuff a little bit,
Okay.
like he's getting old, because that's how
Yeah,
they
throughout
set
the
it
movie,
up.
like
I
they
thought-
set that up too, because like he's
Making
making mistakes,
mistakes.
does not pay
Yeah.
attention to shit. It's like what?
And I'm like,
how do you not?
this doesn't
like,
seem right.
How is fucking Quentin Beck's bad acting not
Right.
setting this off? Like
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie. My whole movie, I'm just like, Nick Fury doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
But I didn't have my analytical brain on. I'm like, I think Samuel Jackson doesn't want to do these movies anymore.
Oh, that's not where I was going. I really thought like they're just painting him to be losing his stuff a little bit, and I was also kind of distracted by how much I liked MJ that I was like, well, whatever. And then they show the end, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that
Oh,
makes
it all
sense.
makes sense. He's not as competent as Nick Fury because he's not Nick Fury.
I don't know what to tell them.
I don't know what to tell people. Yeah. So yeah, I loved this damn movie. It was a great time.
Yes.
Some people are like, this is the best MCU movie. I'm like, no, it isn't. But
Still up there.
it's one of my favorite Spider-Man movies that we've gotten.
Yes, Doctor Strange is the best MCU movie.
Obviously, everyone knows that.
I really like Doctor Strange actually.
I mean, I enjoy that movie too, but it's not the best.
No.
movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's not, I don't even know if it'd be in my top 10.
It's-
What's your number one?
Probably still The Winter Soldier. I
Oh.
really love that movie.
Yeah.
But look, my top 3 are Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Avengers Endgame, and Avengers Infinity War, and I don't know necessarily the order of those, but those are definitely my 3 favorites.
I don't know what mine are.
But this is up there. It's probably top 7.
Top 7.
Look,
Definitely
when you have
top 10.
22 movies, that's not bad.
Wasn't that like 23 now?
It's 22.
Is it 22nd?
Endgame was the 21st.
Ah, okay.
Because Captain Marvel was the 20th. And I'm like, oh, that feels like a shame. You should have had the 20th be the big climactic movie. But whatever.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just want to see where everyone else is.
Well, Comic-Con. That's half
Some
the
of
fun
them
though.
are
But
dead.
a lot of the characters that we're getting, like that
where's
we
Iron
know
Man?
when movies are coming.
You keep mentioning Iron Man. What the fuck is he? He's
A
in
lot.
his grave coming out. Sorry.
I know people that were legitimately scared by that scene.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, that freaking scared me. I'm like, I mean, first of all, calm down.
No, that hit
No.
me in the feels. I was like, no, don't do
Exactly.
that to Peter.
Exactly. It was painful, not
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
That was just mean.
Yeah.
But I love how they took his design straight out of Marvel Zombies. Marvel Zombies is a fun comic.
Continue your thought.
I don't have thoughts.
Oh.
I only have Marvel Zombies.
Or incoherent ramblings.
I mean, that's just our thing.
That's true.
I literally forgot what I was talking about, though.
Yay.
That's my job. Pass me a water, please, Chase. I'm going to take a moment. You talk.
Well, for Phase 4, I think that...
Please don't.
No, I'm not going to say it like that. For Phase 4, I really hope we see more Captain Marvel because I really want her to be fleshed out more. I mean, it was interesting the fact that she filmed Infinity War or Endgame,
Endgame before-
Endgame before Captain Marvel, and it kind of showed. And
Yep.
yeah, but I like her character. Like I want to see her penis in space.
Stop talking about her penis. Oh, penis.
Yeah, I mean Thor with the Guardians.
That's what I want.
Hell yes.
That's still, I think, probably what, 2021?
I don't know, man. Everything's so far out now. Everything
Maybe.
was so close, and now it's far out.
2022, probably.
It's far from home. I don't think it's that far.
I
Because
feel like it
actually,
is.
I mean, let's break it down. So we haven't even started filming Suicide Squad yet.
That's right.
Crap, it might be
So we
2022.
can't have Guardians 3 until after Suicide Squad.
Crap. Well, he does already have his script mostly done. We've known that since the whole thing was like,
He's had his script, yeah.
yeah, so who knows? He might need to make changes to that damn script, though, after everything that's happened. I don't know. I really want Guardians 3, or As Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Yes.
1, as I demand it to be called. But that's a ways off. I mean, we know the Black Widow movie, I think, is the next one. Also, Eternals is going to be next year. And I think Shang-Chi are going to be our movies next year.
I'm not really excited for Eternals, but also...
I'm excited for the cast of Eternals.
who's casted?
Okay, so we have Angelina Jolie,
Yeah.
Kumail Nanjiani, Richard Madden, Millie Bobby Brown.
What?
Oh, she's still rumored.
No, that it's. I
Really?
mean, it's one of those rumors that people are like, it's almost
pretty
definitely
sure.
Was
happening.
it like the
And
rumor
the-
for Batman too?
Well, and then the rumor that a certain actor who's having the year of his life has been approached to play a role in
Well,
that.
he's been approached to play every role.
I
or
know,
a role
but
in
no,
every
but
movie.
apparently there's been actual talks for Eternals, like for Keanu to be playing someone in the movie.
Keanu achieves.
So yeah, I know multiple people have talked about that, but yeah, no, they've been trying to get him into a movie for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping that's not what happens, and that he ends up in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as Adam Warlock, because that would be
Ooh, yeah, I forgot.
my dream.
I keep forgetting that they set up Adam Warlock.
Yeah,
And
there's-
that was like the big thing where we thought we would see him in Endgame just because of the actual story
Yeah.
of
how he's the main character of Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah,
I
no,
thought he was
Yeah.
going to pop up last minute.
that would be super annoying. No,
Yeah.
that'd be a bad way to introduce a character.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. You want him to be Adam Warlock?
I think it'd be fun.
That'd be fun. But I mean, with the Eternals, just because I'm not familiar, I'm not excited. But the same thing with like before Avengers happened, people who weren't familiar didn't care.
That's your touchstone, not the Guardians of the Galaxy touchstone.
Oh well,
Okay, look, here's the thing with Avengers.
because Avengers,
People
I feel Avengers was
knew-
bigger as like
I know, but
Yeah.
people knew who Captain America was, even if they didn't care.
Yeah.
People would most people had seen Iron Man. People knew who freaking like the Hulk was.
Mhm.
I mean, it's one of those things where like they knew the characters,
yeah.
and so
I
people were
guess
kind of excited.
Galaxy would be
Guardians of the Galaxy was literally 5 characters who most people knew maybe one, Rocket Raccoon, because they'd played a video game or something.
yeah.
And so and that's it. Like I remember
We had
like,
this conversation.
yeah, we've had it
I think.
before. But it's like a pertinent point. Like, this is the proof that Marvel can introduce things that you don't give a shit about.
And you will give a shit about.
And you will give a shit about them.
yes.
This movie has potential to be really interesting, considering it supposedly takes place over 10,000 years.
Which movie?
The Eternals.
Ah.
Yeah. Like, they
fun.
don't age.
I mean, I'm excited for most of that cast, just not Angelina Jolie really.
Angelina Jolie's a great actress. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not, like, I
true with you.
don't lose my mind over Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, I
In
don't
the
either, but-
MCU, I don't know.
You don't even know anything about her character or anything.
It's
I
too
just have a
soon
bad
to
feeling.
judge.
I have a bad feeling.
Okay. Whatever.
I'm so confused by that.
It's just Chase being Chase. Like, he had a real bad feeling about Toy Story 4.
That's
okay?
true. And now he keeps telling. Yeah, you
you
said
not
it was
remember this?
stupid.
No, I don't remember this.
You're like, I'm
We
not.
also talked about this
last week. Well, 2 weeks ago. Chase, my God, man, I
You
worry about
literally-
you.
You were like, "That's stupid," and then you come back a week later. I want to watch it again. It made me cry.
No. Okay, no. We had the episode talking about the Toy Story 4 trailer, and you were like, I don't think this movie's going to be good at all. I agreed with you, to be fair. We were
Oh.
both wrong.
Oh,
We're like,
both
this just
were.
does not look good.
it's a scratch from my mind.
Yeah, and we're like, I don't know. Maybe Bo Peep's the villain. Like,
And then I watched it, I'm like,
So
it's
wrong.
probably the best Toy Story.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, we'll take your concerns with a grain of
All right,
salt.
So Far From Home, in the chronology of Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
where does it place for you in like the
Well, it's 2019.
best? This is
You did use the word chronology.
Yeah, I was like, where is he going?
In the ranking of
This-
Spider-Man movies, is that what you're trying to get here in a fancy way?
Why did I say chronology?
Yeah, I don't
No
know.
one knows.
Are you trying to get at the fact that most people say this is the best?
The best second.
Yeah.
This is the best Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, there you go.
The best of the Spider-Man 2 trilogy?
I mean, or I thought people were just saying this is the best Spider-Man movie. I'm like, that's not even true either. But
What's higher for you?
Into the Spider-Verse.
I mean live action.
Oh,
Usually people take that one out.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's a Spider-Man
No,
movie.
that one's a masterpiece. But live action
I also
Spider-Man.
never thought we'd be having this conversation about Into the Spider-Verse as like a masterpiece film before that movie came out.
I was not like
I was like, maybe.
yeah, I didn't care that
And
much.
then that damn movie came out.
so good.
Also, just small tangent. When you're looking at like multipliers for a film, that's typically a like if you ever hear somebody talk about like a film's multiplier, it's basically how much money they made total compared to their opening weekend. Most movies make like about a 2.5 multiplier, somewhere around there. So it's like their opening weekend, you like multiply by 2.5. That's all the money they made.
Yes.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has the highest multiplier of any Spider-Man movie by far. It still didn't make anywhere near the most
Makes
money,
sense.
but it didn't make a bunch of money on opening weekend, and then it just kept making money for a very long time.
I mean, it's on Netflix now. People keep watching that shit all the time.
God, it's so good. No, I'm talking just in the box office.
I know. I'm saying it's still so popular that even on like
I watched
after
it
everyone's
again.
already seen it, people keep rewatching it.
I watched it again. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for this.
I think we watched the first like 10 minutes again.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's way better than it has any right to be. But okay, if we're talking just live action Spider-Man movies.
Ooh, Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire with that Venom walk.
Okay, let's rank. Let's rank the Spider-Man films, shall we? This
I
will be
don't
fun.
like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that don't.
I've only seen the original trilogy and these ones.
You don't count.
You haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man movies?
No, I have
I
not
like
seen
those.
Okay, so rank the ones you've seen. You've seen 5 live action Spider-Man films.
Can't remember. I just know that Venom was a masterpiece. Well, not Venom, but Venom 3. I flicked my
What's wrong
throat.
with you? I couldn't
was a
get
joke.
through that movie. It was
a joke.
terrible.
A
I
yoke.
flicked his throat. That's what he deserves.
What? Okay. Who is the main villain in Spider-Man 2?
Doc Ock.
Okay, it's probably from best to worst of those movies.
Forgot.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I prefer Green Goblin.
I think he's just ranking the villains.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just like the story of surrounding and the actual film.
He also likes the actor who played Green Goblin.
Well, I mean, Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
is a Willem
And I
Dafoe.
mean, James Franco.
No, James. I'm sorry. I meant his son, James Franco.
It's his son, James Franco, played by Harry Osborn.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, yeah. I
He
think one,
just
1, 2,
loves
3.
James Franco.
And then I wouldn't know how to rank between Far From Home and Homecoming. Probably, I think Far From Home would be higher. So, I mean,
I guess it would be Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3.
other way around. Far From Home, Homecoming, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man 2. No, yeah.
What? the
You're right.
fuck?
You're right.
I'm trying to help
I
you,
was
man.
reading it backwards.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
so,
stupid. You're correct.
Okay.
That's all that matters.
Didn't need to go that far.
I am an idiot. Please flick my throat again.
Shut up.
Do
Please,
it.
please do it. Please do it.
I don't like it. Just do it.
I don't want this. Just do it anyway. All right. If I were to rank the live action Spider-Man films, I would probably do Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2. Well, no, Spider-Man 1, Homecoming, Spider-Man 2, Far From Home.
Oh, interesting.
I really enjoy Spider-Man 2. It's a really good movie.
I think Spider-Man 2 was the game I had on PlayStation.
I mean, probably. That was a great game.
Yeah.
There was, see, that's been the constant thing that people have like been saying. It's like, I think we're finally like for like the diehards, the general consensus is that the best live action Spider-Man movie for the longest time was Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. I can't remember that much. That's why.
That's fine. Even if you don't like Tobey Maguire, it's just, this is the fact.
I know.
And then the general consensus in video games of the best Spider-Man video game was Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And so every time a movie would come out and every time a game come out, you'd always hear the articles, this is finally the movie / game that's better than Spider-Man 2. And I feel like we finally gotten both of those things in the last like year.
Yeah.
And
I know.
so the PS4 game is definitely the best Spider-Man game ever made.
So I've heard. I need to get that. I'm gonna get it.
It's so good, Chase.
Especially after watching this movie, I'm like, I need to get this.
You're
game
in a
now.
Spider-Man mood?
Yes, I am.
Now, if I have to rank Spider-Man the video game versus Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man the video game is better.
Oh,
I love that game.
great,
It's so good. And that story is fantastic.
great. I know for the longest time when the Amazing Spider-Man were coming out, I was always adverse to it just because I was like hashtag not my Spider-Man, so I refused to watch them.
Yeah, he's a loyalist.
Yeah, those Spider-Man movies you love so much you don't remember anything about them.
I mean, that was just my
True,
Spider-Man,
though.
you know.
Mhm.
I remember him crying over his dying uncle. The best acting, sorry.
Freudian slip.
Freudian slip, exactly.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Kyle's brooding.
I'm in my Spider-Man 3 mode.
Yes.
No.
Oh, it's emo Spider-Man.
My hair's darker and I have
That's
emo
fun.
hair and I dance a lot.
On the
I hate
street.
this.
Check on
No, stop. But I mean, yeah, I never watched them just because of that reason. And then with even going into
They're okay.
Homecoming, I was like, I don't know how it's gonna be compared to my Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. And I was like, oh, this is fucking amazing.
Hashtag now my Spider-Man.
Exactly.
My new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming, it's fun. Spider-Man, the video game, play it. I'm
I
not a
will.
corporate shill.
Except for you are.
Hey guys, sponsor us, Sony.
Except for they don't need to.
Insomniac.
Sony, we will give you all of the money. No, you will give us all of the money.
You are giving them all the money.
Give us all your money, and we will never stop talking. We will
So,
make
okay,
this
this
a
is something I think
Spider-Man
about.
cast.
Something I thought about when in the intro to Far From Home,
Mhm.
when I saw the Sony symbol, I was like,
Yeah.
it really clicked to me then. I was like, wait, Sony has the rights to Spider-Man, which is also why Sony has the exclusive Spider-Man game. Sony's fucking game. Like they have PlayStation, they have film, they have what the fuck? They have electronics, they have TVs.
Did it,
This is like
has
all
this-
of capitalist America.
Has this all that literally dawned on you just then?
Yeah.
Like
For
you
Sony
never,
specifically.
you never connected Sony the video game company
I
and Sony the
did.
movie
I just
company
didn't think
and
about
the
it.
Spider-Man
I
relationship.
didn't- yeah, I know that Spider-Man relationship. No, I did not think of that at all.
Yeah, that actually, interestingly enough, is not why Spider-Man was a PS4 exclusive.
Is that not?
No, it's not actually. It's a fun fact because they don't have
It's a fun fact.
Fun fact.
they don't have the exclusive rights to Spider-Man as a video game. Otherwise, all the Spider-Man games we've been getting would have
But
been
for film,
exclusives.
they do.
Yeah, they have the rights to the Spider-Man character in film, but no.
Yeah, that's always interesting. Is like,
Insomniac.
it's interesting how rights to characters and franchises differ from like film and games
and
like,
toys.
yeah,
and,
it
yeah,
like differs based on
Hurts
the
my head.
medium. It's
it's
crazy.
super dumb.
There's too much.
And like Marvel with the comics
Mhm.
and like how the X-Men Marvel comics, but then like Fox owned the rights to
Yeah.
X-Men for so long.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, fun fact was like to give an idea to break it down in the minutia. Like Sony does not own the rights to obviously the comics of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They do not own the rights to the video games for Spider-Man. For a long time, they did own the rights for both the TV show and movies for Spider-Man. And they were making, movies and stuff. They were making TV shows, but eventually the rights for the TV shows went back to Marvel, at this point owned by Disney, which is why the Spectacular Spider-Man was canceled, even though it was the best Spider-Man show ever made.
I can't even think of it.
Spectacular Spider-Man?
No.
It's so good.
I only saw one episode.
What channel was this on?
I don't know. I watched it after the fact. I missed.
Oh.
I was part of the problem. I'm not lying about this. But like enough people eventually tell you like Spectacular Spider-Man is possibly one of the best adaptations of Spider-Man ever. And I'm like, okay, I'll watch that cartoon. And it only got 2 seasons and it was amazing. And then Sony lost the rights.
Okay,
There we go.
I can see.
Sony lost the rights for
CW.
it. And
That's why I knew it. Okay.
CW?
Oh, that makes sense.
CW and Kids WB.
That totally makes sense.
Okay, that makes yeah. And so they lost the rights to that, which is when the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show came out, and that was not good. And then we got like Marvel Spider-Man, it's gotten better, I think. I've heard. I haven't watched it. Look, I had my Spectacular Spider-Man TV show and it was taken away from me. I'm like, oh, damn it. Forgot what I was saying, though, in the big picture. Fact is, Spider-Man's great. Sony.
How many times have we said this episode?
Spider-Man great.
Spider-Man sponsor us.
Spider-Man sponsor us. You need all the good press
Toby
you can
Maguire.
get right now.
Do they?
We're on your side, Spidey. It's okay. We don't think you did it.
No,
They don't need
Spider-Man.
us.
Spider-Man needs our
Yeah,
word.
Spider-Man needs some good PR.
Yes.
Not from us.
Yes.
Why not from us? It's
We can save his public image.
It's the groundswell.
Oh, yeah, we totally can help his public image.
I think she's
I
making
believe
fun of
in
the fact
us.
that no one watches, listens to our podcast.
Yeah, no one watches it unless it's on YouTube. Then they just watch a blank screen.
It's not a blank screen. It has
Yeah,
it has
the
our
logo.
our logo. We should do something. You know what we should do? We should work on building a set of thumbnails for all of the old ZymCast videos so that maybe people will be more likely to click on them. We can still have the actual video, just have the ZymCast thing in the background.
Clickbait.
It's not clickbait.
It's like
It's-
definitionally clickbait.
Okay, look, clickbait is not inherently a bad thing. Thank you. It's
now
not.
you're admitting it.
Okay, well, I mean, by definition, yes, it is clickbait. It is something that catches your eye
Yes.
to make you want to click on a video.
Yes.
It is not a lie. We would not be putting like
Clickbait and switch.
blatant lies on our videos, like thumbnails. It wouldn't be like, it's like our review of Spider-Man Far From Home. It's like a freaking like topless woman or something. Like, I mean, come on. Well, I mean, that would be clickbait.
Yeah, that's
technically.
common clickbait.
But like, it would just be, like, I don't know, something. I don't know. I'm not saying, and I don't want her to do much more work. I'm just saying, I think that might get us like one more view each video,
Just the one.
which to be fair is like a 10% increase in our viewership.
Oh no.
Actually, it would be more
Especially
than
on
that.
YouTube.
It would be more than that.
Yeah, specifically on YouTube.
I like my earthquake survivor video on YouTube has like 10 views now. It's one of our most viewed videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
And I think
I
it's
saw
strictly
that.
based on the freaking title Earthquake Survivor.
Yeah.
I saw that.
No one listens to us on YouTube.
When
Unless
I-
you do, then thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being that person. That one person and
Yes.
me.
But if you're not aware,
Hey, I watched
we
it.
are streaming on other podcast places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. I
Yeah.
haven't
We
checked
ever make it
iHeartRadio.
on-
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
iHeartRadio, I don't think it'll ever go through.
Well, they got into contact with me, and I was.
Did they?
Yeah, I just don't remember if we resolved it.
Chase, what
That's
was the
on
problem?
me. That's on me.
Yeah,
the
that is
problem?
on you.
There was no problem. They just forgot.
We're that small that we were just
At that
completely
point-
forgotten. At that point, still at that point.
Yeah.
Whatever. My goal was I increased our amount of videos on our YouTube channel over the course of a week by like 50%.
Yeah, that was a lot.
7 videos, 7 days. At that point, we had like 16 videos total. So I think we've broken 100 views on YouTube.
Have we?
I think so now as our channel in a whole. Check it out. We don't
Hey.
need to have this in the podcast now. So thanks everybody for listening.
Thank you for listening. We're
We've
gonna
kind
do
of
some
gotten off on a tangent.
analytics stuff.
I kind of forgot we were still recording for a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Because even when we're not recording, I talk into the microphone because I like how it sounds in my ears.
Yes, thank you all for joining us on this amazing journey.
Spectacularly amazing, friendly neighborhood ZymCast.
Yes, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. You've been to space.
and remember,
Forgot a word there.
Yeah. Bitch, you've been to space. You forgot the
Oh,
bitch.
that's right. Sorry,
That
I
was
forgot
like your
it was.
favorite part.
Yeah, I forgot we were Jesse from Breaking Bad.
What?
Science. All
I
right.
didn't watch that.
You should. It's a great show.
It's a great show.
I'll
So
try
next up, now sponsored by Breaking Bad. So ways you guys can support the podcast: go to Apple Podcasts, upvote us, watch all of our videos like podcasts or whatever 17 times each. Make a bunch of fake accounts. Do that.
Oh my God!
Don't do this.
You're just encouraging fraudulent activity.
I know. And when they find out, we'll get screwed. Tell your friends.
I thought you
legitimately.
said Toby friends, and I was
Toby
like, hey,
friends.
McGuire.
Tell your friends. Have them listen to our silly show. Please.
If you know anyone who's kind of a lonely person and they just want to feel like they have friends, tell them to play this podcast.
There are hours of us rambling like stupid idiots.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you'll
literally.
feel like you're just like hanging out with friends.
Even in the background, just tune in. Have us rambling incoherently in the background.
Works the same for us.
Yeah. Just to have some noise. We're accompanying you on this journey through life.
It's like ASMR, except it's super grating and frustrating and annoying.
And if you want to throw your laptop across the room because we're stupid,
I do that every day.
We will not buy you a new one.
That being said, I do need to swing by a friend's house on the way home today. He doesn't know I'm coming, but I definitely left my laptop charger at his after D&D last night.
Wow, I haven't found my laptop charger in a month and a half.
You know, sometimes you just make mistakes.
Yep. Well, thank you for listening, and hope you tune in next week when we talk about something.
Maybe Stranger Things?
Yes. Tweet us at ZymMedia on Twitter, or follow us on Instagram at ZymCast.
If there's anything you'd like for us to talk about, please just comment. Just comment on anything. Like, just...
Yeah, tweet us, comment
Tell
on
us
YouTube.
we're stupid.
Like, look, if you're listening to this right now, I'm going to make a personal call to action. Go to literally any of our YouTube videos,
Oh my God.
Zym Media on YouTube, and just put a comment. You would be the first person to comment on any of our videos. No one does.
I really want to use my second account and like just troll.
Don't do it.
You would just be trolling yourself.
I know, but it's funny.
Just do this for you, not even for us. Do it for you.
Do it for your own sanity.
Thank
Hey,
you so-
you get to be the first commenter.
Exactly.
Ooh,
You will,
You can just comment first.
and we will read your name and your comments on our next episode, whatever it is.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
That's my claim.
That's dangerous.
As
Kyle will
long-
read whatever you want.
As long as this will not get us pursued by the U.S. government
Soundbite.
or like something terrible, like as long as
Or
this won't,
copyright.
yeah, I will read whatever this comment is. It's got to be the first comment, so you got to jump at this. For all you guys competing, I will read whatever comment you put on the air. I'll read your name. I'll say whatever you want. So that's a gift. All right. So that's my call to action. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so
to the
much for
ZymCast.
listening to our
Also,
podcast.
hopefully this gets you have enough time between when this is posted and the next time we record.
They will. We never record so it always goes up on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't ever record before Wednesday.
Yeah, but then it'll only be up for like a day.
I just have to be here at this table and just look. Look, if they're listening to this, it takes not long to make a comment on a YouTube
Kyle
channel.
is ecstatic about this. He's throwing shit,
throwing
stuff's
water
falling
bottles.
off
Oh
the
no,
table.
he's going all Hulk
It's
on us.
best. It's best if we
Close
leave
it.
now.
Close it.
Thank you for listening. My name is Chase Matherly.
I'm Kyle Grubb.
I'm Cheyenne. Bye.
And thank you for listening, and have a good day.
That was
What accent was that?
okay.
was
Let's
not
just
Matthew.
cut it out. Just
No,
cut,
we're done.
Cut the feed. Cut the
Bye.
feed.
Cut it.